Okay, please, Arjun. Thank you.
So good afternoon to one and all, and today's resource person, Professor Jogen Chandra Kalita sir, former Human Resource Development Center HRDC Director and College Development Council former Director or Chairman, I think, and former HOD, well-known person not only in Assam, in whole India. Sir did his PhD from London, King's College, London, and sir is an international scientist also. In general, sir always work around the clock and time management. Just I received exactly time because of variation between a few minutes of our system and the sir time. But sir, maybe by seeing the star presence in any program, you can see without seeing the clock. I think some of participants are here. They know about the time management of and the sincerity, punctuality of this, sir. Sir, I am also just behaving like you with our participants, sir. I am very strict. First 1 week, I behave very and whatever we are doing, this is the goodness and greatness for our participants only. Maybe they understand after.
Yeah.
Those who are absent 1 or 2, 3 days, I am going to organize tomorrow 10 to 1, sir. 3 hours program. I am taking attendance there and I'm giving certificate. So without, I am fulfilling the norms. So sir motivated me since 2018. I'm taking almost all the courses, even short-term course, FIP, OP, RC, and not only HRDC, sir. I went along with sir many colleges. The MORAN college is also I visited Dr. Sutasuni Gogoi ma'am, October 25th, 26th, 2019. Still I remember, sir, date and time, and MOOC courses and blended learning. And it is a wonderful time spending with. And I traveled to Dibrugarh, I traveled to Tezpur, almost all Assam with the sir. Sir is my extraordinary role model. I am working simply following sir only. Sir is the right person. Sir never think about the problem. This quality I like very much. Everyone has a problem. Whatever we have, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. This is the motto of Professor Kalita sir. Without wasting time, you can see sir presentation. Sir motivating hundreds of teachers from Assam. Assam is teacher visiting every year before pandemic. Sir, ma'am, Gayatri Goswami, ma'am, senior most professor in education, ma'am, she shared, sir, everything, how you are motivating teachers, not only juniors, even senior teachers also. Thank you for your presence and bless our participants. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. I thank NEHU and your center, esteemed center, for organizing this wonderful program with wonderful people from India and across the world. I am very happy to know that you have been organizing this and many other programs from NEHU. NEHU is well known to all of us, and I am also very happy to work with you because you are a very disciplined person and you are very humble. And with the teachers, we should be very humble. Today, what I am going to do is I will be talking about development, national development. So it starts from my own development. If we can develop our students, then only we can develop the entire nation. So that with that spirit,
if possible, make it a presentation mode, sir. Make it presentation mode, sir.
Or presentation mode. Is that okay?
Excellent, sir. Excellent, sir. Please.
Yeah. So here you can see Indian national flag is flying. All over the world, people are looking at India today because India is a great nation with talented teachers like Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan said, the teachers are the best minds in the country. And we talk about education very much. We have so many programs, policies on education right from our independence. Still, we talk about new things and newer vision we have. And who will carry forward the message for development of India and to put India as a developed nation in the world? We are still struggling to develop. where is our strength, we need to realize. So therefore I said that self-realization and education, which is quality education, can be the keys for national development, where we work together, Guwahati University and NEHU, Guwahati University and Brunel University, London, and many universities in UK, USA, and also Japan and China, including our neighbor Bangladesh University, Dhaka, and Royal Bhutan University, Thimphu, and many more. Why I am here today? I am here today just to exchange our thoughts, how to develop our children. Because the education we give today to our children, tomorrow there will be the reflection in their action. So let us start with a big quote from Swami Vivekananda. Conquer yourself and the whole universe is yours. You see the strength of this particular statement of Swamiji. When he talk about this, you feel inside your heart how much we can do if we realize ourselves. For that, to start with, I'll be with you for 1.5 hours. So without taking time, I'm going to the next thing, what we need to encourage our students. Because as a teacher, we need to talk to our students about their strength, about the strength of our students, as well as weakness, where their weaknesses are. We need to talk about the opportunities in front of us. And also we need to talk about the problems and the challenges we need to tackle, we need to solve. As Amoresaran said that it is a big thing to not to talk about problems, just talk about positive things and solve the problems. Yes, if you think you can, yes, you can. So that spirit should develop in the young minds of India today. We have young India. All of us, we know that India is a youthful nation, unlike Japan, China, and many other nations in the world. We very much talk about youth. And if we can engage them in a rightful way, in a right path, then India will be developed soon. Still we are developing, but we need to be a developed nation. Why? Because we have everything. We have everything within us, but realization is not there. So that is our problem. So therefore, as teachers, we all, my dear friends, what we can do, we can talk about all these, and perhaps all these are not in the syllabi. What we talk, right from literature to science, to technology to trade and commerce, there may not be this in their syllabus, but we need to talk with our children, talk with our students in the university and colleges. They try to realize, if you can realize your strength, nobody can stop you from your achievement. So here I am showing you a very humble person of Assam. And in a newspaper, the news was like this: never underestimate the power of one. Never underestimate the power of one. That was a villager from Upper Assam. And what he did, a lone Indian man plants 1,360-acre forest by himself over 30 years. Why I am showing you in the beginning of my lecture? Because he perhaps could realize the strength within him. And that realization showed him to the world. And now in the American textbook, his life and work and philosophy will be there. And already Mexican government has given him the visa for 10 years. And he will be going and coming all the way from India to Mexico, and he will be working there for long 10 years, and he will be with 1 lakh of students every time. Every time he will visit Mexico, 1 lakh of students will be with him. What they will do, they will make their country green. Like American students, they are learning his life, his philosophy, his work, and most importantly, the power of one. So therefore, we the teachers, we are very powerful. Just we need to realize what we can make. We can make our future because we deal with the young people right from the lower primary to the level of the university and in research, every field, we the leaders. And that realization, if we can carry within us, we can develop our young minds for a better India. We have problems. Where we have problems, we need to find out. If we can find out the problems, if we can encourage our young minds, the whole universe will be for us. You look at this, okay, Lavlina, Mirabai, Niraj, all made India proud in the world platform, Tokyo 2020. Lots of hard work, lots of supports, and lots of disappointments, sometimes in their life. It was not easy journey, but still they could do it. They could achieve. So with this, I am showing to the world today, the people connecting by Omar Restaurant Ready across the nation, many of you are participating. I am showing you that we are proud of these people and who made them the teachers inside the classroom. So therefore, that realization they could develop in them. And when they could develop their strength, when they knew about their weakness, when they knew about the opportunities, and they overcome all the problems and accepted the challenges. And they are now the pride of India. Therefore, Nelson Mandela once said, whatever kind of education it may be, but that is the best skill one can have and can use as a weapon, powerful weapon, which one can use to change the entire world, not to talk about a part of the world. Entire world can be changed with education. What type of education? That education should be quality education, and on which I am talking about. Swami Vivekananda also said that all the wealth of the world cannot help one little Indian village if the people are not taught to help themselves. Again, the point of self-realization, the quality education. We need to educate the people. We need to educate the people to acquire the skills they need to be productive. Productive economically, spiritually, socially, nationally. And both education, moral, and intellectual are so important. That is what he said, that our work should be mainly educational, both moral as well as intellectual. So that development is very essential. What India could realize thousands years back, but still India is a developing nation. India is a poor nation. Why? We have everything, but we are lagging behind of many developed nations. So what are the reasons? We need to find out after 70 years of independence. Therefore, new education policy, most important objective is the quality education. How to achieve quality education. How to give quality education to our students who can make a developed India. Here, Jawaharlal Nehru very rightly pointed out, the children of today will make the India of tomorrow. The way we bring them up will determine the future of the country. So therefore, a very high standard foundation is important for the education system in India. The foundation should be so strong that we can build multi-story building, skyscrapers like in Dubai. So our education foundation today is not good, not satisfactory. Many of the schools, many of the colleges, and many of the universities, even we talk about the top level, higher education, even a single institution not there in the list of 200 institutions, world ranking institutions in the world. So therefore, again, if we want to talk about M.K. Gandhi, what he said, you see, if we want to reach real peace in this world, we should start educating children. So again, that education we are giving to our children should be quality education. What Einstein realized, that education is not the learning of the facts and collecting information, but the training of the mind to think. Thinking is everything. Like in our research, thinking should be dominant. Without that insightful thought, we cannot develop new ideas. So it is therefore very important to develop that realization within us, the teachers, so that we can make that realization in our students. So quality education, a good quality education in one is one that provides all learners with the capabilities they require to become economically productive, develop sustainable livelihood, contribute to peaceful living and democratic societies, and enhance individual well-being. Individual well-being is most important, like individual development. Here in India, we can see millions of poor people. Poverty is a big problem. But how to fight with the poverty? How to eradicate poverty? Only one weapon, that is education. So therefore, education should be our number one priority in the world. Our priority should be number one so that India can be without any poor people. And again, I am giving this particular information from Swamiji that we want education by which character is formed, strength of the mind is increased, the intellect is expanded, and by which one can stand on one's own feet, like Neeraj Chopra, like many successful people in this particular country. APJ Kalam therefore talked to the student all the time that don't worry if you fail, but make a fight so that you can win again. When we talk about education, again we talk about UNESCO. UNESCO even promotes access to good quality education as a human right. You see the importance of this particular parameter in education. Quality education should be the human right as a part of human right. Quality education goal, academic excellence. What India is always trying to be academically excellent in the world. We produce IIT graduates. We produce quality graduates. We produce quality postgraduates and researchers. But there is a huge brain drain. Academic standards should be improved. That is what India has been struggling. Applied learning should be there. It is already there. And lifelong academic skills. But still, in spite of all we have, where is the problem? We need to find out. Who can find out? Who is a thinker? Who is a critical thinker? Like we, the teachers. We need to think where are the problems. As I am saying, we have everything. We have everything, good quality student, good quality teachers. Students are educated, and after getting good education, they are serving all the developed nations in the world. Why they can't serve India? Where is the problems that we cannot offer job to them? These are some of the thoughts, and we think with a mission, with the teachers, as teaching is not a profession, it is a mission. What Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan said, And we, the teachers, should be the best minds in this world. And let us see what we can do. If we talk about students, we are the teachers. We can change the life of students. We can change the condition of family. We can change the generation, 21st century, and we can change our country, provided we we can develop quality education in our classroom, as well as we can make our students to realize their self-realization. And if we show this ladder to our students, they will surely understand the hard work they need to do. They may be in a college, initially in higher education level, or in a junior college. But if they can go higher, the opportunities are higher. If we talk about research, if we talk about jobs, if we talk about opportunities, all are increasing when they are going from a college to a university to a high standard institution, then beyond. What is beyond? Beyond India. Oxford, Cambridge, Harvard, where our students will be able to work with Nobel laureates, and their departments will be having with Nobel laureates. Our students will be working, they will develop their potential, and they can come back as a quality student. And what many of our students, they are taking the skill, coming back from Oxford, Cambridge, and all other big universities, and they are serving India. As all of you know, because many of you are from education, most important is that education is to know, 4 pillars of learning. Education is to do, education is to be, and education is to know how to live together with others peacefully. And the most important part here is the respect. If we can inculcate this particular parameter in education, the respect, if we respect others, if we respect others' views, if we respect others' religion, if we respect our culture, others' culture, then there will be no problem in the society. Where is the problem? Problem is that we do not know how to respect others. In India, we find in the newspaper in the morning, we do not know how to respect elderly people. Many occasions are there in the newspaper, in the TV. Very often we see even the kids, they are not having respect for their parents and most importantly to mothers. So these situations, how can we say that we are imparting good education to our students, which is value-based education? And when we talk about value, you see the national framework of education, what India needs, contributing to national development, because always we talk about national integration. All the states in India, Indian Union, we are working together so nicely. And our aim is to develop and to contribute to national development. Where are our products? They are inside the classroom. We are the facilitators. We facilitate them to develop. And when they develop, they contribute. Like, as I showed many people in like Neeraj Chopra, Mirabai Sanu, they are also making India proud, fostering global competencies among students. As I have already said, that from your classroom, maybe there are students, those who are successful in top ranking universities in the world. And value system in Indian education is not new. But again, we need to talk about value. Why? So there is the problem. And that problem, perhaps we all the teachers can address. Why we need to talk about value system again? To respect women, to respect elderly people, to respect others' views, to respect even the teachers. Many a time we find that students, there are incidents that they don't show respect to teachers. Why that is happening in India? The country, many thousands years back, taught the entire world about values, and why that value is losing in our system. And ICT is most important parameter. If we consider national development, we need to develop our students with that competency in technology. And wish for excellence is another important parameter for national development. As I talk about Jadhav Payeng, that he was working to bring excellence in his eco-restoration field. People talk about eco-restoration now, the entire world, but Jadhav Payeng started long back before 40 years. What is the UGC mandate? We need to think about. I think all of us we know that UGC is saying, Government of India is saying, through UGC, that develop intellectuals, not just degree holders. It's a very important message to my dear teachers. We all need to think to develop intellectuals. We all work so hard. We do teaching, we do research, we do extension work, we write books, we write papers, and in spite of all hard works, okay, in spite of all of us, of our hard work, there are messages coming from national government that there perhaps something went wrong. Something went wrong, that our degree holders are not having quality. That was observed. Developing your youth with environmental sensitivity. Our graduates, when they go out of colleges or out of universities, they should be so sensitive to human values as well as biodiversity, the environment, and they need to think about professional ethics, time management, what Amoreswaran Reddy said in the beginning, time management. Why we the Indians, we don't care about time. Even when we visited many countries with my colleagues all the time, that even the driver, bus driver, scolded us like anything. Even the driver once said that we respect India, but why don't you respect time? Okay, so therefore I am showing again all this to my dear esteemed colleagues and friends that we need to think about developing quality in our graduates so that all graduates are productive, economically they are independent, they can develop entrepreneurship in them, and they have that competency by which they can participate in national development, right from Indian Academy of, Military Academy, NDA, and to all other fields, research and development. And when we talk about quality and high standard education, we point out to Oxford University. That was the past, many hundred years. Okay, Oxford was developed, Cambridge was developed, like in India, Kolkata University, Madras University, Delhi and others they developed. And if we think about our neighbor, okay, a few other countries in the Southeast Asia, you find that they are also developing world-class university which rank within 200, but still India is struggling to have at least one with that particular high ranking within 100. These are the universities in Singapore. They are having high ranking, 22, 27. And when we think about our role models, so powerful, and in the colleges and universities, we very often find that there are so many researches going on. But in the practical field, all those messages, what those people gave to us, somewhere something, the link is missing. So therefore, we need to revisit again the philosophy and thoughts of these people. We need to show our students the role model again in the classroom that think about M.K. Gandhi. When I visited London in 2000, recently in 2018, I found that Gandhi's statue was built in front of House of Commons. And when I was there, I was discussing with few of their British friends. And when I asked them that why you need Gandhi here, they said he is the symbol of peace. He is the symbol of unity. He is the symbol of respect. And everyone in the world wants Gandhi in their heart because everyone wants peace. And peace is the main aim of education of India. So that to our APJ Kalam, I am not talking about each one of them because of time constraint, but I am making an appeal to all of you, my dear teacher friends, that please bring this role model to our classroom and talk about them at least 5 minutes every day. As all of us we know that they are messages like Guru, okay, our Rabindranath Tagore. All these are taken by Germany, Russia, America, and many important countries in the world. So when we talk about national development with our realization for quality education, it is the capacity of India to raise the standard of living of its residents. So it can be achieved by providing individuals with basic livelihood. That requirements we should be able to provide. The government of India should be able to provide the basic livelihood and supplying with them the ample opportunity of employment. Where our problem lies? Our problems lie in the large-scale unemployment and underemployment, large pool of illiteracy, rapid growth of population, challenges of national and emotional integration. Very often we find even in northeast region of India, Mizoram and Assam, in the border, interstate border, and there were also problems because of maybe some emotional issues. So with those, I am showing only few, but there are many. So many problems are there. All can be solved by what means? The means is the research. If from people from humanities, they do research in conflict management. People from science and technology, they do research and develop science to that level where we can get the economic benefit out of our, suppose one example I'm giving, the medicines which we have in our jungles. Okay, jungle means medicinal plants. And also, there are so many technological advancement India needs to do. So, National Development Plan aims to eliminate poverty and reduce inequality. We have so many inequalities. We have poverty, but we need to eradicate, as Millennium Sustainable Goal also said, that poverty is a problem. So how we know whether we are developing or we are not developing? The development is measured using the Human Development Index, HDI. HDI is calculated by United Nations. It measures average life expectancy, level of education we provide, and income for each country in the world. So that way, we are also we need to take some programs, okay, so that we can have a high index of development, a high index of peace. Development helps in making things easier, simpler, quicker, faster in life of human beings. Like when we visited Japan, we saw that they are delaying time of train, not in second. Even in 1 second is not delayed. All trains are running exact time, on time. All people, they are working on time. Nothing and nobody is delaying. It is our national development improves living standard. It improves quality of life. As we appreciate in the West, that Western quality of life is improved because they are rich. And when we talk about education, we find that education always wanted confidence build up in nation, that India should be confident nation. That started 1964 And new education policy 2021 also talks about that confidence build up among students. As I already said, that 4 pillars, those were mentioned by Jacques Delors, 2001, refer to UNESCO. India is sticking to this particular 4 pillars of learning. And when we talk about northeastern region of India, just giving one example, you see the diversity is our power. Like India as a nation, we are so diverse. I am showing this particularly northeastern region of India because Meghalaya, Assam, we belong to northeastern region of India. So unique confluence of culture. So therefore, that particular aspect of education that we need to know how to live peacefully together with others. That aspect should be in our syllabus. In our syllabus, that particular aspect should be there. We are imparting education, but there should be that level of sensitization that we need to have. We need to be tolerant. We need to be respectful. We need to be hardworking. We need to know how to protect our resources. We need to know how to safeguard our languages so that they are not dying out. So all these parameters are there in the new education policy. Therefore, they use the local. That also you should give more importance to locals, local issues, local resources. And if we do not have realization of what we have, how can we know about our resources? So therefore, we need to know. As I said, education is to know. Then if we know, we need to do. Education is to do. What to do as an education person? We need to think. We not just to gather information. We need to think. And that is true for our graduates. We need to make our graduates thoughtful, good thinkers, critical thinkers, so that they can make the order of the society. What order? Peaceful order. That there is less conflict, there is more peace. That is the aim of education of the world today. And as from this year you can see, best startup in India, they are young. Even they started from age 21. All these entrepreneurship development quality are there in our students. But we need to point out that, my dear student friends, you can do. Just as a teacher, if we can make them realize their potential, and they will develop. And when they develop, there will be quality product in the society. And quality depends upon characteristics of learners, learners, our students. They should be healthy, they should be motivated, they should have full dedication, they should know what they are going to do. In my state, Assam, I visited more than 300 colleges and I met many lakhs of students during my this 30 years of teaching. And when I ask even a particular student that what for you are coming to the college, they don't have the answer. Many a time they say, okay, sir, we'll think what to do, what we can do. It means that goal setting parameter is not there in our education. So that we the teachers need to place before them. That set your goal, otherwise you will be goalless. Okay, they should be very, very strict in setting the goal of their life. Then only they can develop themselves. And also the system, the education system, college system, our university system should be perfect. We have lots of problems. Even in a country like India, we have fake colleges, we have fake universities, we have, okay, so many under substandard education institutions. Many of the institutions, they don't want to go for NEC. So all these parameters we need to think when we talk about developed nation. So at present, we have 950 plus universities in India and also 40,000 plus colleges. And you think about our part of India, 16 universities and 600 plus colleges in our state. And if you think about Northeast, it will be more. So in spite of all these, when we think about quality at the level of international, then we are to look back that why we cannot go at par with the world. So even Dalai Lama also talk about self-realization. He said that with realization of one's own potential and self-confidence in one's ability, one can build a better world. So these are the messages powering over the years. And Swami Vivekananda once said that talk to yourself once in a day, otherwise you may miss meeting an excellent person in this world. So this type of, I think, thinking, this type of particularly the messages of the great leaders and thinkers should be there in our students' minds. Like Mother Teresa also said, that we may not be able to do many good things, big things, but we can do small things with great love and care. So with great love and care is very important. Because what is most important is that the courage. If we can make our student courageous, and they can go for fighting a battle. I am not talking of the battle of war field. I am talking about the struggle we have, each one of us we have. Where from I am coming? I am coming from a very poor village. What was my vision at that time? My vision was New Delhi because that was the capital of India. I thought that I should go to New Delhi to see how students are performing there, and I could go there. I was doing my research after finishing my MSc from Guwahati University. I could survive 2 years in All India Institute of Medical Sciences. I am talking this just to encourage our young teachers, those who have joined in FDP. Because when I realized that I could survive in New Delhi, so hectic, so speedy, so fast track city, one of the fastest cities in the world, when I could survive, I realized that yes, why not to try in London? Then I tried London with a message from Swami Vivekananda. What he said you can see here. He said, take risk, my friends. In your life, if you win, you can lead. If you lose, you can guide. So I thought, why not to test my life in London? Then how? Then I was planning for going to London for my higher study PhD. As Omar said, I did my PhD from King's College London. I left my PhD in between in Ames. My professor said, when something better is waiting for you, you please go. So I went there. So that way, one should give encouragement to the students. What is the most important encouragement students get? Their students, they get from the teachers even more than parents. You, the teachers, you can change the life of students. Today we have two systems or paradigm shift, you can say. One is internationalization, another is globalization. So therefore, we need to make this networking. Networking is very important. I knew Omar in 2018, and 2018 to 2021, 28th of September today, still I am working with him. How many webinars we did? It may be more than 100. How many offline meetings we made? It may be more than, I think, 50 in these 3-4 years. And what is my planning? It should be more than 1,000. I'll be connecting to Indore because I know many friends there, to Maharashtra, to Delhi, to Gurgaon, to Kolkata, not to talk about our neighbor states. So therefore, a teacher should have a good network. And I have network of 50 countries across the world because I need help from them. Why? Because I need to develop my students. If I talk a French from Thailand, University of Mahidol, International College, then Professor Ramesh Zimbo Bunaratana will be in my classroom as a visitor, digital visitor, like what I am doing now. So Ramesh, when he talks to my students, they realize that, oh, something beyond Assam, something beyond India. So that globalization mindset, internationalization inquisitiveness should be there in our student. Then only they will get the benefit of knowledge. Importance of knowledge is to get the benefit. If you have good idea, you sell the idea. Like I talk about entrepreneurship. And if your student can sell the idea, and he will be famous in the world. He will be rich and he'll be intellectually powerful, courageous, and problem solver. Like many of your students, they did and they are doing. And therefore, India talks today. Even new education policy mean many parameters that's independent. A student should be independent. A researcher should be independent. A researcher should not depend 100% on the guide. Like many of my scholars, they used to say, sir, what is the topic? Can you give me a topic? I normally find it difficult. That type of question, I do not have answer. A researcher should be so independent that he should take a problem so that he can solve in his time. So we need to think about our development, the students' development, and development of the place where you live. That is India. So therefore, Make in India, Skill India, Startup India, Atmanirbhar India, all are very important aspect of today's education. Therefore, we talk about incubation, innovation center in the colleges, NAC assessment of the colleges. Because why? Then only we know what is our strength, what is our weakness, what are the opportunities, as when we get together, many professors, we talk about how can we get projects, how can we help students. When we meet ministers even, we talk about development of students. We need to support the researchers so that they can do more than normally what they do. To do more with less is most important parameter of new ideas. That you can, like Omar, if he thinks that, no, I do not like to do many things, nobody will question him. In India, most important problem is that if you do more, then there is a problem. People will be after you. That why Omar is doing so many good things. That will be their headache. Omar will enjoy his good work, but people's headache is that why Omar is doing so many things. So today what we do, we change how we teach. We have already changed how we teach. I taught 10 years back with textbook or maybe a projector which is not LCD projector. That's okay. But now 80% digital. We even play video, we multimedia we use, and whatever technology we have, we use all. We have young teachers joining in the department, in the colleges, and we encourage them to use technology and talk to the student directly. And we sense what we teach, and we give them what they need to be successful so that they can do better. And suppose my department is zoology, but we teach them English also. Why? Because they should be good communicator. Without being a good communicator, if I know science, but in America and London, how can I express? So therefore, communicating what you know is most important, my dear friends. So that power we the teachers can give to our students. If I think that I am teaching zoology only, I no need to teach them English, how to communicate, that will be a wrong thing to do. So therefore, what we do, we even teach them English, the scientific writing, writing a paper, but all these are not in the syllabus. In the syllabus, on the contents are there, but in out of syllabus we work. So this is the time to do beyond syllabus. This is the time to do and go with beyond routine. I have another meetings in the after evening. That is beyond my routine for after 4:30. So that way, if we work, the teachers of India in 1,000 universities and 45,000 colleges, India will be developed nation very soon because our students, they are so good. I saw students in China, Japan, London, Belgium, and many countries. But Indian students are so good. They are so respectful. They are so tolerant. They are so dedicated. They are so motivated. What to talk about them? High quality students. But where is the problem? Problem is in the system. And who run the system? We the teachers. Again, I am coming to this ladder. So if you think, you see, all these institutions are so important. But my graduate students, those who are in many colleges in Assam, even my students in my classroom, many of them, they don't know how to get into TIFR, IISC, or how to get GATE, NET, SLATE, and how to write a good paper. So that is the very pathetic situation at current time in our part. And many of my students, they don't know the better presentation skill. They don't have teaching skill, even not to talk about leadership and teamwork. So all these skills one graduate should have. Then only he will be a quality graduate. A student should be getting 100 marks out of 100, but we cannot say in 21st century that he is the best graduate. To be a best graduate from our colleges or university, one should be having all these skills, like negotiation skill. If there is a problem, decision making skill. If you are doing something with the people, going to a meeting, one should know, a graduate should know what type of attire he should wear. One should know how to control anger. One should have organizational skill. One should have interviewing skill. And also behavioral changes. Why? And also they should be able to talk about public policy and politics. In China, I asked them, the students, that what are the compulsory subjects as you are graduate, doing undergraduate degree. A student said, the politics, the sports, and the general knowledge. The politics, sports, and general knowledge. All these three subjects are compulsory. All these three subjects are compulsory to be one engineering graduate, medical graduate, general graduate, arts, humanities, commerce, or law. But they should know general knowledge, sports, and politics. So that way, in India also, in new education policy, there are things where the education is going towards to be quality education as UNESCO desired. And as I already said, the self-awareness, empathy, effective communication, interpersonal relationship, critical thinking, creativity, decision-making, problem-solving, coping with the stress and emotions, all should be there in a graduate. Otherwise, there will not be peace in the society. You may live in Tripura or in Kashmir or in Delhi or in Kolkata. To make peace in the living system, we need to develop all these skills and qualities in our students when they are young. As Einstein said, environment is so important. I am in my department of zoology, Guwahati University. What I am trying to develop the environment every time, every minute. As Einstein said, I very much follow this. He said, I never try to teach my students anything. I only try to create an environment where they can learn. Okay, where they can learn. It is very important because you provide the environment, then they will be independently thinking, they will be solving their problem, they will be doing better research, and India will be smiling. But if we cannot give them the environment, all the time they are under pressure, then how independent thinking and creativity will develop in our students, what other nations want to see from India. So as I said, that network is a big thing. All of us, we need to develop. That is my appeal to all of you. Try to know people across the world. You connect with the people. It is very important at this point of time. If you know people, you can work with them in future. Like I know Amar from Guwahati. I'm working with Amar across the state of Assam and even sometime towards North Bengal and West Bengal to help my colleagues working in colleges. And I am very much interested to collegiate education and to develop and to help them to develop. Why? Because all the potential students with potential, they are in colleges. Only maybe 15 to 20% are coming to the university, what we get. 80% they are in colleges, directly getting their degree, they are going to serve the society with full potential. So working collectively in a team is very important. That is what I am showing. So this is a picture from University Tonzi, China, where we talk about emerging model of global research universities. That is what India is telling now. It was in 2014 when I visited China. Those people, they were talking about international emerging model global research universities. In 2014, they already developed. And in 2019, India gave the draft. 2020, we have this particular aim to develop, not yet developed. You see, already China is well ahead of us. And they have the University of Economics and International Trade. And when we talk about international trade, they talk about India. In here, I am showing you the Prime Minister Tony Blair in 1997, when he was asked by the media that Mr. Blair, you want to be the Prime Minister, tell us what is your number one priority. He said, education. Another person asked him, what is the second top priority? He said, education. What is the third priority? He said, third priority of my agenda manifesto is education. By saying that education, he became the Prime Minister of Great Britain, great nation in the world in 1997. And the first bill he signed in a bill where the amount of salary was increased for the first time in his country to the highest for LP and ME school teachers, even higher than many doctors, engineers, and professors. When he was questioned by media, he said that by doing this, I am showing to the world that British education always believes in foundation. That foundation of education should be the strongest in the world. That is what Tony Blair defended before the media. And when we look at America in 2009, Barack Obama, he started this announcement. He announced the education to innovate. Today, India is doing this. But 2009, he said that our students should be innovative. All the Nobels should come from America only. America should be the world engine of discovery and world engine of new and newer ideas. So that way I am again telling you, my dear friends, that it is very important to encourage our students to be innovative. Without innovation, we cannot strive because world is highly competitive. It's a really very competitive world. So therefore, we need to think about how to compete at par with the world. We cannot say that we are not having this, we cannot do that, we have no money. How long will you make and plead for this? But this is the time to think about, because whole academic world after this, not after, even during pandemic, is becoming one single platform. So we need to realize the new global university in the post-COVID-19 world. That global pattern is already there and it will come. At that point, we cannot say that we are having poverty, our people are poor, our people are unemployed. It's not like that. So my dear friends, all of us, we need to try to develop and make the employable graduate in our college and universities. Our students should be employable. Okay, they should have all quality skills. Educations they want, we need to give to be successful. They are getting jobs, they are getting all opportunities because they are quality graduates. So it's very important to have effective planning. It's very important to have effective planning, like what China did. China, they tackle all the problems for teaching children in the school and colleges. What they did immediately at the outbreak of this or beginning of lockdown, what they wanted and develop all the essential, this all essential skills and apps, digital apps, and using all digital apps, even 270 million students, they could address. They could meet the demand of 270 million students at the initial lockdown period. And China was the first country in the world to have that type of development to help students in teaching and learning. And our India now is trying to restore, to come back to original, to evolve, adopting to the new normal. After COVID situation, we are doing this. And to transform to the world-class environment, to transform India into world-class classroom. Our colleges, universities, all higher education institution must be world-class. How many years you will be talking about all negatives? Talk about positives now. Be positive and develop whatever you can do and get away from the negative people all the time, because they have a problem for every solution. They have a problem for every solution. This is not me, Einstein said. That stay away from negative people. They have a problem for every solution. So Amar,
Sir, please, sir.
yeah, can I give 10, 20 minutes for interaction, or what you
Okay,
think?
sir. Okay, sir.
What is my
Okay, sir.
time? Up to
Up 3:30.
3:30.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
3:30, 3:35 also, sir.
So after 5
So now
minutes,
I'm
15
requesting.
minutes, after 5
Yes.
minutes, okay, 15 minutes
Okay,
I'll
sir.
give for interaction. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. So please bear with me. তুমি একটু আসলে নিবে। হুম। 29, 21. Okay. All the best. Oh, great. So if we think about our resources, just I am showing the resources of Northeast. As I am a man of biodiversity, you see how much we have. The world, they don't have that. We have all these. But if we are not having that quality or environmental sensitivity, I am showing this as an example, how to protect them, how to preserve them. So they all will get extinct. So therefore, from our colleges, we need to develop graduates with that particular aim to do something for the nature loving, sensitive, socially responsible. These are our medicinal plants we have. We can have cancer drugs from these plants. And if we can develop drugs from these, we can be rich. So therefore, what we do, we need to develop collaborative effort. This is one example I am showing you. Our registrar, vice chancellor, myself, and all, we develop connection with Royal Bhutan University recently because we need to work together. Our aim is to work with Japan. So this is from Japan. Japanese professor coming to Guwahati University and developing collaboration because we need to know what strength, we can aid from them and what strength we have. And therefore we develop MOUs like Tokyo University. We visited Tokyo. And when we took the appointment, Tokyo University, it took us almost 6 months to get 1 hour appointment. And our colleagues, mostly professors and principals from various colleges, we had lectures from their professors. They talk about, technology, they talk about science, and also they talk about our honorable Prime Minister and their Prime Minister. And they said that all the students, those who are studying there in Japan, they are brilliant. All the professors, like this professor, working in a university in Japan, is excellent professor, got national award also. And this was our Kyoto University Center. Why we visited Kyoto University? Because there was the environmental protocol where all the poor people sit together. They talk about environmental issues and they talk about the responsibility of India and also responsibility of rest of the world. So therefore we had one interactive session in Kyoto. And out of all, we have more than 50 collaboration MOUs, but what are the benefits we are getting? You see, our student is in University Gand, or University Bern, Switzerland. Our students in University China, our student in All India Institute of Medical Sciences, our student going to University Leeds. You see, our students, he is in Brunel University where I work. My picture is there in the with lab coat. Where I was working, I sent my student. He's in Brunel University, London. And also professors from Brunel University and London University and many universities coming to Guwahati University. They are teaching my students. And many of my students now they are successful in getting to higher institutions, BHU, Delhi University, IIHC, IIT, and many. Because all the teachers of the world, we are together to help them. This was in China. When we talk about trade and commerce, they talk about Hindi. They say that they were learning Hindi. They have Hindi department. And when I asked them, why are you having Hindi department in China? They said our student, 80 major student in a college, and they are learning Hindi. They talk about our professors and principals. I was the academic leader. They talk and they sang the song, Sare Jahan Se Acha. So they sang for us in our honor. Okay, welcome distinguished guests from India. So that way, I think that all the people, when you have this particular connection, you can develop and your student, your scholar, those who are international. But it is our responsibility to make the environment stimulating. Your environment should be stimulating environment. It is not like that always we talk about negative things, that chemical we do not have, that book we do not have, government is not giving, we are not getting, not like that. Whatever we have, let us start with this. From my department, it's a poor university. Our university is not very highly developed, but we are a great university. But with this, we struggle a lot to do more with less. And we need to talk with our students about fellowship. I am directly talking about Commonwealth Fellowship, Commonwealth Scholarship, Fulbright Fellowship, Fulbright Scholarship. All of us, we need to talk about. And what, okay, our Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru did. You see, as long back as in 1950, he realized that to have international peace, we need to develop through education. So developing peace through education. Therefore, he signed a memorandum of understanding with US partner, United States of America and India. Prime Minister himself, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, he made that particular agreement, and now still it is continuing. You can go to America, work as a Fulbright. They will come back to India and they will work as Fulbright. So thank you so much. I think this is all for today. And also try to get scholarship and fellowship abroad, like what I did, because I availed 5 postdoctoral fellowship, Commonwealth scholarship, and many more. And I am sending more than 20 students. Even yesterday, my son left for London. He will be doing his MTech in Loughborough University. So that way, if you, okay, I am helping 20 students from my laboratory itself. They are going and they are getting education. Some of them are getting back. Some of them are not getting back. They are working there. So thank you very much. Now, perhaps Omar, over to you.
Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your extraordinary presentation to motivate our now 128 participants, sir, including you and me. So it shows how much you attracted and make attention. Now over to our participants. Instead of typing, you are allowed to speak. Please interact. It is a golden opportunity to interact with the sir. Sir is very busy under Geological Survey of Assam, organizing many programs. Myself, I visited 30 colleges in Assam in the span of 2 years. So we can learn many things. I got that, sir, really, I still remember this time spent with you and the travel journey also. According to Rabindranath Tagore, you can learn many things while traveling. So journey is the first step for progress. So it is over to our noble participants. Please interact without wasting time. Please immediately connect.
Hello.
Yeah, I can
Hello.
hear. Yeah.
Is Dr. Shalini here? And
Yeah.
first of all, Kalita sir, thank you so much for such a deep lecture. And the topic was very deep, basically. And as such, we all discussed about self-realization and quality education. Sir, I have to say something about it, and I just want you to throw some light on this question which I'm raising over here. As such, most of the institutions, are not giving quality education. And even if some are giving quality education, and from therefore learners reaching a very high level, they're moving towards even self-realization. But even then, sir, he is finding it very difficult to use his creativity or, autonomy at most of the places or the industries where they are working in India. And it is finally leading them towards frustration because it is killing their intellectualism also. As a result, they are moving out of the country too. It's a pathetic condition, sir. How to motivate them to stay back in their country and promote the things here? How to change their mind? This
Yeah, you are okay, narrating a very good part of our life, because it is becoming a part of our life. And many of the young students whom we care and they are getting better education, a few of them, suppose they are getting better education and immediately they are getting away from India. And it is not their fault as a whole. It is the fault of our system. As I, okay, mention about giving one example, that if you work more, our society somehow develops some negative spirit, that they will criticize you. That why is Dr. Shalini Rastogi is doing more work why Omar is doing more work, why Jugan Kolita is doing more, that a group will develop and they will pull you back. It is not in case of Northeast alone, it is everywhere in India. That is not, it was not before many years. Somehow it developed somewhere, something went wrong. And nepotism, favoritism, these are becoming the parts, and also corruption. So that way we have some negative things. So therefore we need to, as I talk about the quote of, giving quote of Albert Einstein, that keep away from the negative people. They have a problem for every solution. So that sort of things and encouragement may perhaps keep our students strongly motivated so that they can stick to the national development. Thinking about India, sacrificing the comfort, and they work for India in spite of many odds. When I was getting postdoc, my professor told me, you work here. But my mother told me, come back to India because Assam gave you everything. So therefore, come back and serve Assam and India. So that way, that education we need to give at home also. But when there is the will, there is the way. Good people are there. And we need people outside India also. Because if you think that all should work in India, it is not like that. We need work because they will act as ambassadors. They will be acting as the ambassadors in their field. Like Professor of IIT Madras, when I met him in Japan, he was like the academic ambassador. He met our Prime Minister when he visited. He got award from Japanese Prime Minister. There is a symbol of talent of India, IIT Madras. Thank you, Shalini. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Any other, please? Any other? One by one, you can move further, please. Sir, follow very strictly time management.
I know. Yeah, because it is we have
Abhishek
another
Pandey, please. Are you
another
there?
seven,
Abhishek
8
Pandey.
minutes.
Abhishek Pandey ji.
Omar, it is not like
Sir,
that.
sir.
It should be a question. Even they can also add something, because as I have
Yes, sir.
said that they are scholarly people. All of us here,
Okay. Antara
138.
Day from Tezpur University, sir. Research scholar Antara Day.
Yeah. So they
Antara
can
Day from
add,
Tezpur.
they can also add something so that in this particular unique forum, wonderful people, they can also, I think, gather something.
Come on. Mamata Bhatnagar. Subbarayadanna from Andhra Pradesh.
Omar, we will start offline from first week of October with you. I will
Okay,
go
sir.
to Dibrugarh with you, so that
Okay, sir.
we can cover 5-6 colleges in one go, and we can
Okay,
make
sir.
this type of program offline program. Talking
Okay,
face
sir.
to face. Face to face is a little bit better than this digital.
Never
And
replace, sir, by
I,
anything.
I salute all these professors and research scholars, those who have joined. I salute you from Guwahati University with a hope that we will meet again.
Please, another 5 minutes, you can utilize. Jaya Batra from Punjab.
Sir, very good
Jayanta
afternoon.
Nunia.
Yeah,
Very
we
good.
have.
Please.
Good afternoon.
All, I'm very thankful for such a motivational lecture. Sir, there is one saying, गुरु ऐसा चाहिए शिष्य को सब कुछ दे और शिष्य ऐसा चाहिए गुरु से सब कुछ ले.
Exactly.
Right? Because I feel when there is no interaction, when student is not ready to take, all the efforts done by the teachers are futile. And nowadays, what we are observing as a teachers, because of online teaching, many of the students, they just log in and they are not ready to listen, they are not ready to receive. That's why the quality of education is going down. So what is your
Yeah.
suggestion to improve such situation?
Yeah, I think you are right. It is my suggestion is that it is very important for the teachers in 21st century to talk about, as I said, the beyond syllabus and beyond routine and adding value all the time. All the time whenever teachers are with the students in the institution or off the institution, we need to talk about the values, what India has or India had. And now also we need to talk about some of the positive things what our student can do. But because many time I find that as it is not in the syllabus, they are not interested. And also we need to use all kind of measures, right from digital to offline to group discussion, inside the room, outside the room, also in the campus, wherever, anywhere, anytime. So that sort of technology or skills we need to develop. And very often we need to talk with their parents. Even my research scholars, those who are working with me, I need to call their parents sometimes. I need to talk with them over telephone, talk about their problems, their emotions, and how to tackle them. So all kind of these strategies we need to make, because as Nelson Mandela said, education is the weapon which you can use to change anything. You can change everything. You can change the world. Thank you. It's a very good observation from your side.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for nice words. Thank you, sir. We will keep it with us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, namaskar.
Antarade, are you ready to speak? Only 2 minutes.
Only 2 minutes. Omar is very
Okay.
strict, like okay, me, what I do.
LM Lingdo madam from Synod College.
Synod College,
Assalam.
Meghalaya.
Yes, sir.
We have people from Punjab, Chennai, all
Yes, sir.
across the
Yes, sir.
nation.
Almost all. Yes, sir.
Beautiful India with wonderful people.
Any other?
Okay, Omar,
That-
they are quite happy, I think, and I congratulate all of you, including you, and go with this particular program from your center whenever you have time. And I am always yes to you because
Thank
I
you, sir.
did not say no to you. So always you try to connect me. Also connect Namrata ma'am from Indore. She is a wonderful person. And sometimes Professor D.P. Singh, chairperson UGC, because he is also a wonderful speaker. So that way you do, because they will be very happy to talk with these wonderful people across the nation. And I salute once again, I salute all of you. Thank you.
Sir, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so
Okay.
much, and see you again,
Okay.
sir. We need your
Yeah, yeah.
blessings again
All
and
the
again.
best to all of you. Take care. Yeah. Be healthy.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Hey, participants, I'm going to call the next resource person, Professor R.C. Patel, sir, within 1 minute.
Hello.
You can speak here, sir. You can speak here. I can identify.
Okay.
Yes, sir. You are there, sir. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon to Professor R.C. Patel, sir, Head Department of Education, Dean, Faculty of Education and Psychology. Sir, never doesn't like
not
to say
able to
more
listen
of you,
to you.
sir. Just only 1 minute I will take.
I cannot listen to you. Wait. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is audible, sir. I am audible to you, sir.
Okay, I can
You are
also
audible to me, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
अरे जल्दी चालू થઈ ગઈ मीटिंग. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Professor R.C. Patel, sir, is the senior most professor in the field of education and members in more than 40 committees around India and visited many countries, and can say father of our education right now, Professor R.C. Patel, sir, and Sanju Sonewane, sir, senior most teachers. Always they are blessing us, and whenever I ask anything, sir never say no. And just only one thing I can tell you, how sir is managing time management again. Morning 8 sir reach the university, and evening 8 sir again move to home. Morning the way he appears, the same way he leave to home. This one I think I am grateful to ma'am. See those who are best of taking care of sir, and we need sir blessings. Today is a research tools. Sir, study habits. I used the tool developed by sir, constructed and developed by sir for my PhD 2006, 2009 it was awarded. This is a right time to interact with the creators. So in the Bloom's taxonomy, the highest level is a creation. After analysis, evaluation, creation. Now is the over to you, sir, with a little small words. I'm inviting you a warm welcome to you again, sir. Over to you, sir.
Yes. Thank you very much, Dr. Amar. I think you are always telling more than what I am. But anyway, I can understand your love and appreciation. I thank you very much. And all the participants also. Because 21 days is a very long program. And that too in an online mode. Had it been in the usual traditional classroom kind of mode, we know along with this learning, many other good habits also can be developed and are developed. But then this is a very different kind of situation entire world is facing. So thanks to the technology, because of which now see I am sitting here, all of us are sitting in different corners of country. I do not know whether there is any participants from outside country, but then we know we all are from different parts of the country, and we are able to at least manage the show, if not very effectively, but at least we are able to manage the show. I'll take some more time because the presentation slide has yet not come to me, but Dr. Amar has asked me to speak on research tools. Before I speak, my request to all of you is, if possible, you can put on your video, because instead of seeing only blank screen, if I am able to see your face, I'll be happy, you also will be happy. So if technically feasible, if you have enough bandwidth, I request you to please start your video. And Amar, the request is for you also. Please keep your video on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I can understand in certain case, either camera may not support or even internet may not support, but that is fine. But then there are more than 120, I think 128 participants. So
If you can, then I'll be very happy. Now just wait for a minute. I'll take my slide and then I'll continue. Please excuse me for a minute. I hope the screen is visible now.
Visible, sir. Please make it a presentation mode, sir.
Okay, sure.
Excellent, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, let us have some agreement. Agreement number one is anything that I speak, and if you think that you are not able to understand, please raise your hand or you can ask question. You are free to ask question at any point of time. Okay, number one. Number two, I'll try to be as slow or as moderate as possible. But still, in some case, if you feel that the speed of delivery is too much, so you can please comment, maybe you can write in your chat box or somewhere so that I will try to adjust this, my speed, because I know in this format, speed is also very important, and sometimes we speak hurriedly, and then there is a lack of sound, and then it creates problem for. I think I made some mistake. Okay, I could manage now. Now see, I have been given only 1 hour time, but Amar, I need at least 2 hours time. So today I'll try to cover only certain aspects of the research tools. I will not be able to take care of all of them. So maybe I'll take care of only some of them. And then if it is administratively feasible for you, then maybe on some other day, I will want to come in if participants also desire. Because you please take objective feedback from participants, and if they feel that I can come again, if administratively feasible, if I am free, I will definitely want to come. So in this entire presentation, what I will do is, initially, I'll want to spend 10 to 15 minutes time on discussing the major steps of research. I'll not go by types of research, whether it is survey or experimental or historical or post facto. I'll not go by type of research, but largely irrespective of type of research, there are certain steps which need to be followed. So in the initial part, I'll talk about those steps which need to be followed. And then I'll go to the major tools that are used in research. Is it okay? Is this speed okay? Hello?
Sir, yes, sir.
Please,
Okay.
participants, you can answer because you are unmuted by
sir.
yourself.
Okay, sir.
Fine. Yeah, I'll be happy if you answer. If I'm not able to see your face, even if I am able to hear some of you, I'll be very happy. Somehow I am a very traditional kind of teacher, so that happens with all those traditional teachers. And in a lighter mode, what happens is in the evening when I go home, and when my wife says something to me, I cannot listen unless she is facing me. But this is a traditional habit which all teachers have. When we talk to somebody, we need to see that all of us are facing us. Fine. So as I told you earlier, I'll skip this part. I'll not go by the definition of research, but all of us know these are some of the few definitions that I have taken from certain good books. But they all talk about man's effort to solve problem. Fine. It's a systematic application of family of methods. It reveals the answer of certain specific question based on content is directed towards solving the problem. I'll skip this. Now, as I was saying earlier, these are the major steps of research in general. It all begins with identification of research problem or broad area of research. Sometimes students approach a guide by saying that, sir, please tell the problem on which I will carry out research. Problems are not to be told or not to be guided by the teacher. Believe me, problem or the broad area of research has to be decided by you. As a researcher, you need to decide the broad area. Now, this you can be able to do only when you read a lot. Because see, as human being, what happens is we have tendency of liking something or disliking something. So depending upon our likings and dislikings, choices, read in that area, and when you read, you will come to know that in this area a lot of work has been done and still lot of work needs to be done. So that lot of work needs to be done will be the area where you need to research depending upon your interest. From there you come down to the statement of problem. We all know that statement of problem is a very specific statement which talks about and which is very manageable, doable. Otherwise, there are several questions for which we do not have answer, but even we may not be able to research also. So then, statement of the problem. Having done this, now we review the related literature. Okay. So then now, what is the difference between reading this related literature and the literature which I have asked you to read during identification of research problem? Are you able to see the difference between these two? Because initially I have said that in order to identify research problem, you need to read a lot. Here also, having identified the area and having decided the statement of problem, now we are saying that you need to review the related literature. So what is the difference? Earlier, our reading was very general, related to all the aspects of education, and now it is narrowed down only to related to the problem that you are going to investigate. The basic purpose of reviewing the related literature is, at the end of the review, you will be able to identify research gaps. There are certain gaps, so you will be able to identify this. And second most important aspect of reviewing related literature is, it would help you at every stage of your research. All the reviews of related literature, in fact, would act as a guide for you. It will help you at every stage. Fine. Then when you complete this stage, there are still certain questions in your mind, broad questions. These are known as research questions. And according to my knowledge, every study, irrespective of its type, should have research questions. Studies may or may not have hypotheses, but every studies should necessarily have research questions. And then by following research methodology, you will definitely try to answer some of these questions. So what I am trying to say is, this will lead you to formulation of research questions. Then we write the objectives of the study. Objectives of the study indicate what exactly as a researcher you are going to do. That will be indicated by the objectives. And then, depending upon the requirement, depending upon the variable, we will formulate hypothesis. Now, see, these are three most important things. One, the research questions, the objectives, and the hypothesis. By now, I have evaluated several PhD theses, and I'm sorry to state that many researchers hardly find difference between research questions and objectives. The only difference I have seen in most of the studies is research questions are written in question form and objectives are written in simple statement form. But please understand there's a vast difference. If we have time, or next time if I come, I'll give you specific examples also. And then hypotheses are the temporarily accepted solution of the objectives that we have stated. So that will give us direction. As a researcher, in absence of hypothesis, perhaps you may not be able to decide how to proceed. So objectives will definitely give us direction about how to go about. Then this is another most important aspect, limitation and or delimitation of study. Please believe me, many researchers in our country, I am talking about our country, many researchers use limitation and delimitation interchangeably. I have said that many researchers use limitation and delimitation interchangeably as if they have the same meaning. But please remember, they have totally different meaning. Amar, I think somebody wants to join. Somebody has written that waiting in the lobby.
Sir, actually, we locked the meeting of 3, sir, because some of the participants just joining before 10 minutes, before
Okay,
30
okay,
minutes.
Fine. That is good. That is good. Okay. So what I was saying is limitation and delimitation are totally different. Sometimes you will find title as delimitation of the study and 5 statements are written. They talk about limitation. So first let us try to see what is the limitation of a study. Limitation of a study is something that needs to be done in a study. Something that needs to be done in a study, but as a researcher, you are not doing that and you are doing something else. That induces limitation. Please listen to each word carefully. I have said that something needs to be done. Instead of that, we do something else. And that induces limitation in the study. I'll give you one very simple example. Say, for instance, here, the organizer, Dr. Amar, if he wants to find out how effective the resource persons are, okay? Now, if this is the objective, then obviously Dr. Amar should be attending all the sessions and he should have either some rating scale or some rubrics, and with the help of that rating scale or rubrics, he should assess and then he should decide how effective the resource persons were. Okay? But instead of doing this, maybe because he has some other important assignments, so he is not able to attend all the sessions. So what he can do is, he can ask participants, how effective R.C. Patel was, how effective this was, how effective this person was. So this will induce limitation, because as a researcher, if he observes with the help of, as I told you earlier, certain research tools, then he will be able to achieve the objective. Instead of that, if he is doing something else, then that will not be possible. Another thing is, see, sometimes if we want to know how teachers teach, which different methodologies teachers use, which ICT tools teachers use. Now, instead of observing teachers while they teach, if I prepare a questionnaire and I give to teachers, how do you do this, how do you do this, whether you use ICT or not, whether you divide students into small group or blah, blah, blah. I can ask several questions. So this will induce limitation. Okay, I think I have made it clear. And delimitation is narrowing down the study, because sometimes we may not be able to take care of complete study, and that is how we are narrowing it down. One simple example is, say, if somebody wants to study the achievement of students of 8th standard, you may take entire state or maybe entire country. Entire country may not be possible, so you narrow it down to certain state. If entire state is not possible, you narrow it down to certain district. If entire district is not possible, you may narrow it down to certain block and then certain school. So narrowing it down in order to make it manageable is known as limitation of the study. So please try to understand the difference between this limitation and delimitation. Could I make it clear to all of you? Any doubt up to whatever I have said so far? Any one of you?
It is clear, sir, no doubts.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much. Then this is followed by operationalization of the terms and oblique or explanation of the terms. First, I'll talk about the similarity between operationalization and explanation. Both these are different than the definition. The meaning of definition is universal. Across the globe, wherever you go, it has to have a same meaning. That is the definition. For instance, in science, we talk of density. So density is mass per volume. I cannot say that in my study, density was not mass per volume. Okay, so that is the meaning of definition. But then we know that in our study, we use several terminologies, which as a researcher, I have freedom to define in my own way. So the definition that is accepted in your study is known as either operationalization or explanation. It means this is the concept for your study only. If some other researcher wants to adapt it, fine, or else another researcher also can have different way to operationalize it. For instance, a scientific attitude. Now there can be different ways to define scientific attitude, but then in our study we can decide scientific attitude in one way. Okay, so that is the meaning of operationalization or explanation. So this is the similarity in both of them. Now the only thin line difference between these two is all those terms which are quantifiable, all those terms which are quantifiable are to be operationalized, and all those terms which are not quantifiable, which are to be explained in certain sentences, we go for their explanation. For instance, scientific attitude, that can be explanation. And if you are going to measure scientific attitude with the help of certain scale, then I can also say that the scale, the score obtained by students on a scientific attitude scale developed by researcher and standardized will be considered as scientific attitude of students in this study. Okay, so here that is operationalized because we are able to quantify that term. We are able to express it in terms of certain number. So the difference between operationalization and explanation is those terms which can be quantified needs to be operationalized, and those which cannot be quantified needs to be explained. For instance, there may be professionalism of a teacher working in diets. Now, it may not be possible for you to quantify. So then you describe the professionalization of a teacher would mean blah, blah, blah. Fine. Having done this, now we may enter into the other part of research methodology. That is, we have population, then the sample, then the tools, data collection and data analysis. Okay. So then we describe the population. From this population, we select the sample, and we know there are various techniques of selection of sample. And here also I have one or two observations which I will definitely want to bring it to the notice of all of you. That is, in most of the studies or cases that I have evaluated, somehow researchers, either intentionally or otherwise, make mistake in writing the sampling technique. One common mistake that I have seen is most researchers write that sample was selected randomly. But I think many do not understand a simple meaning of random selection of a sample. Random selection, or even before that, we know that there are two major types of sampling techniques. Two major. One is probability sampling technique and another is non-probability sampling technique. There are 4 to 5 major techniques under probability, and similarly there are 4 to 5 another techniques in non-probability. Say in non-probability we have convenience sampling, purposive sampling, quota sampling, snowball sampling. And in probability sampling, we normally talk of simple random, systematic random, cluster, stratified, multi-stage sampling. Okay. So if you want to use any of the techniques under probability sampling technique, and if you really want to do it rigorously and scientifically, believe me, you should have sampling frame. And I'm sure that this allied group of 128 participants who are at this meeting would definitely be knowing the meaning of sampling frame. Here I'll wait for a minute and I will want you to write down in chat box what is your understanding about sampling frame. Please write it in chat box. I'll pause for a minute. Fine, I can see one answer. Distribution of sample, good. Taking a sample of objects from research, good. Good, good. Please continue writing. Sampling frame implies to selected ones out of whole universe. Okay. Anybody else is still writing? Okay, fine. Okay. It is representatives of whole population. Fine. Thank you very much, all those who have written. Thank you very much. I'll take a few minutes to describe the exact meaning of sampling frame. Now, first, I will reiterate the statement. I earlier said that if you want to adapt any of the techniques under probability sampling techniques, you need to have a sampling frame. The sampling frame is a complete list of all the units of population. Please listen to it carefully. Sampling frame is a complete list of all the units of population with the information on all the independent variables. I have used a generalized statement. I'll give you a simple example. I told you that sampling frame is a complete list of all the elements of population. All. You should underline the word all. All the elements of population with the information on all the independent variables. Okay. Now, say if somebody wants to study scientific attitude of students of 8th standard in Meghalaya. Our population will be students of 8th standard in Meghalaya. And which students? With those students who are studying in standard 8. But then in Meghalaya itself, in 8th standard, there may be around 8 to 10 lakhs or maybe 5-6 lakh students studying in 8th standard. That may not be manageable for several reasons. So as a researcher, then you select certain districts of Meghalaya, maybe 4 districts from 4 different parts. And from this district, you can also select certain blocks, and then you have selected ultimately 200 schools. Okay. And in this study, the independent variable is, say for instance, you have selected gender of student, you have selected social category of student, you have selected socioeconomic status of student. So these 3 are known as the independent variable. And dependent variable is scientific attitude. So in this case, the meaning of sampling frame is, as a researcher, you should have complete list of all the students studying in 8th standard of those 200 selected schools. Okay, in 200 selected schools, there may be around 11,000 students. So list of all 11,000 students along with their information on gender, means student number 1, whether a boy or girl, number 2, boy or girl, and so on. Then caste category, general, SC, ST, SCBC of them, or if there is any other caste than that, and then socioeconomic status. This complete list is known as a sampling frame. And if you have this list which is with you, then from that it would be always easier to take sample by using any of these sampling techniques which fall under probability sampling technique. But unfortunately, when I evaluate cases, I see that sample is selected purposively. Sample is selected, by some technique which even you find it very difficult to identify. And researcher writes that it is selected, the sample was selected randomly or stratification was used. But if you say stratification, you need to show strata and you need to have information of all the schools, all the students in all different strata. So my request to all of you, because many of you must be PhD guide, I do not have that information. But then if you are PhD guide, please, please, please ask your student, or if you are doing PhD, please be honest to yourself, be honest to the research, be honest to the research study that you are conducting. If it is purposive sample, please write purposive. Nobody is going to harm you. But then when you have selected sample by some other method and you are writing random, that might harm. And that, your conscience also should not allow you. So to all scholars and all guides, my request is, please write the sampling technique that we have really used, and do not use any other word unnecessarily. So this is about, sample and sampling technique. I can of course take one more class for only sampling techniques, but then maybe some other day. Then we have research tools. With the help of these tools, we obtain information from the respondents. Respondents here would be those samples. If, for instance, the students of 8th standard of those 200 schools of Meghalaya state. Then we decide how data to be collected. Now, data collection, there are several techniques that also need to be specified. And in the report, when you specify data collection, along with the specification of how exactly the data were collected, you also need to specify the time at which point of time you have collected data. 1 second. Yes, what I was saying is, as a researcher, we need to specify how data were collected. Number 1, how could be either you have personally gone and you have collected data, or you have emailed them, you have sent by some other mail, you have sent courier, and you have collected data. You have employed some people who in turn have gone and collected data, or there can be any other technique. So the way of collection of data is to be mentioned. Along with that, the time period, which part of the year you have collected data, because data analysis, while you are analyzing data, even this is also important. For instance, Say if it is 8th standard students, and if you have collected data in the beginning of the academic term, say maybe in June, July, August, it means they have knowledge of all the content up to 7th standard only. 8th standard, they have just entered. If you collect data somewhere in October, November, December, they are in the middle of it. If you collect data, say somewhere in January, February, March, then it is expected that they have understanding about even all the content or syllabus of 8th standard. So when you analyze the data, this time period is also most important. And then how data are going to be analyzed, whether certain qualitative technique, quantitative technique, differential array, descriptive statistic, inferential statistic, whichever is to be used, that is to be written. And Dr. Amar is very good at this data analysis technique, so he can definitely throw more light on that. Now, having said these are the major steps of research. In any research, normally these steps are to be followed. There is addition of some other steps depending upon the type of study. I think I will not talk about this validity, reliability, and objectivity of each tool. Otherwise, whenever we talk about research tool, we need to ensure the validity, the reliability, objectivity, and either usability or practicability. I'll take only 1 or 2 minutes to briefly talk about validity. We know that validity is related to the purpose. If the tool serves the purpose for which it is made, then we know that our tool is valid. So as a researcher, you will have to always ensure that the tool that you are either developing or the tool that you are adapting needs to serve the purpose of your study. So if it is serving the purpose, then we will say that the tool is valid to that extent. And this validity, reliability, objectivity, usability is always in terms of the extent. It means the validity of the tool can be very high or it can be very low. Okay. So sometimes, and that it can be numerically also calculated. If we are numerically able to calculate, we can say that the validity or the reliability is 93% or 78%, whatever it is. Normally, we talk of 4 types of validity. Normally, there can be some other types of validity also, but normally the tools that we use in research, we need to talk about 4 types of validity. Number 1, the content validity. If at all you are using achievement test in your study, it needs to have content validity. Then there is concurrent validity, then construct validity, and predictive validity. These are the 4 types of validity we should look for in a tool: content, concurrent, construct, and predictive. Do you want me to spend some more time on this, or I go ahead? Amar, what do you want? Has these topics been covered by some other resource person?
Sir, I think it is. No, sir. Only you are the only. I think it is very, very useful, sir. It is better to give more information about the validity and reliability, sir.
Okay, what do the participants say? Participants, please write in chat box.
Yes, participants, you can interact with the sir.
Yes, sir. Please continue, sir.
Okay, I will continue then. What I am saying is, normally we talk of 4 types of validity. Now I will describe each one of them in detail. But what I have said is, validity refers to the purpose. Then reliability. Reliability refers to the consistency, whether the data obtained with the help of tool are consistent in 2 different situations or not. Because whenever we talk of consistency, normally consistency is in at least 2 different situations. It can be more than 2 also. Sometimes we say that this friend is consistent, I can rely on him or her. Why are you able to rely on your friend? Because his or her behavior over different situations is going to be similar. And that is how we say that we mean somebody is reliable. Objectivity is a very simple concept. This is opposite of subjectivity. And then we all know, as a teacher or as a human being, there is an element of subjectivity. Listen to my statement carefully. I have said that as a human being, sometimes, we tend to be subjective. We have certain prejudices. we have biases, we have favoritism also. But then as a researcher, we have to be objective. As a researcher, I or Amar or any one of you cannot be subjective. We have to be objective. Meaning of objective is, I'll give example of a simple achievement test. I have conducted several experiments and I'm fond of conducting experiments. One subject which I teach, what I do is at the end, after I complete one unit, I conduct a class test. Even for my B.Ed student, I conduct a class test. And then I have answer script of student. So one student's answer script, I'll make 10 to 15 photocopy. And all of you also can please try. You can do this. Only one answer sheet means answer sheet of one student. You make 10, 15, 20, as many as you want photocopy. And give it to 20 different competent people to assess. Give it to as many people as you have copy, either 10, 15 or 20. And you see, on a test of 50, in one experiment, I found that one examiner had given 11 marks and another had given 44 marks. Now, this is not subjectivity. I'm sorry. This is subjectivity, but this is not objectivity. But then what should happen is, whether I assess the paper, Amar assesses, or anybody else, students should get exactly same marks. If that happens, we will say that our tool has objectivity to a very great extent. And last concept, it should be usable. I'll talk of 4 concepts, so let me start from there only. Whether it is, we say that it should be either usable or practicable. And that quality is known as usability or practicability. Any research tool, when we talk about its usability or practicability, we try to see 4 aspects. 4 aspects for usability or practicability. Aspect number 1. There has to be ease of administration. Okay, there has to be ease of administration. That tool should be easy to administer. If some of you have seen the bank recruitment people's examination, they have a lot of complication. They will say that when first bell go, allow the students to enter into the campus. When 2 bell, let them take their seat. When 3 bell, as a supervisor, you check their identity card. 4th bell, you give them OMR. 5th bell, you give this. 6th bell, you give this. After 8th bell, you collect this. Then 9th bell, you give this. So, this is not very easy to administer. If this kind of complexities are involved in administration of test, everybody perhaps may not be able to administer easily. Instead, what should happen is the tool should be easy to administer. So when we talk of usability, there are 4 things. Number 1, I told you, is the ease of administration. Number 2, the ease of scoring. Easy to score, nahi, huh? Not easy means students should not be easily able to get marks. I am not saying that. But what I am saying is, as a researcher, it should be easy for you to score. Score means giving them marks. When you are giving them marks, it should be a very easy process for you. Instead, if it is a very complex situation, say there are 50 MCQ, and then condition is, if the answer of question number 1, 2, 3, and 4 is 5, then only 5th is to be corrected. Okay? If all answers 1 to 10 are correct, then 11, 12, 13, 14 are to be corrected. If you have framed questions like this, then scoring is not easy. So usability or practicability refers to, number 1, ease of administration. Number 2, ease of scoring. Number 3, it should not be a very costly test. It should not be very costly, means the cost involved. And number 4, it should not take much time to administer it. So these are the 4 aspects. If they are in favor of researcher, we will say that that tool is usable, or it has great usability or great practicability. 1 is, it should be easy to administer. Number 2, it should be easy to score. Number 3, it should not be very costly. And number 4, it should not be taking much time. So if all these 4 dimensions are covered, we will say that the tool is usable, or it has usability or practicability to a great extent. Now, I told you earlier that we talk of 4 types of validity. These are the 4 types of validity: content validity, concurrent validity, predictive validity, and construct validity. Now, let us take them one by one. So, content validity is, see, content validity, as I was telling earlier, it refers to an achievement test. And as a teacher, all of us, we prepare question paper. That question paper is known as achievement test. Okay. This achievement test should essentially have content validity. I repeat, the achievement test should essentially have content validity. Okay. Now, its meaning is the extent to which test covers all the aspects of the content that we have taught. Then we say that the test has content validity. And I'm sure during our B.Ed or M.Ed classes, Amar, all of them have done B.Ed and M.Ed, no?
Sir,
Or there are teachers, there are teachers
Here in
from
the
other
group-
discipline also?
sir, here engineering, even management, science,
Oh,
humanities.
Okay, fine. Then I think, I am very comfortable, because you may not perhaps have heard of this terminology. So, even if I bluff, no problem. Okay, what I was saying is content validity means, in order to ensure the content validity of the question paper that we prepare, we have a concept of blueprint. Concept of blueprint. All these engineer friends who are here, we know that, before you go for any project, you have a very rigorous planning, and you have complete plan in front of you. Then only you start constructing either building or dev or whatever it is. Okay. So that plan, first that planning is important, and then we construct the building. Similarly, construction of building is similar as making a question paper. And planning is similar as making a blueprint. So first we should make a blueprint of the question paper, and then only we should prepare a question. But many of my friends are not doing this. And in fact, this is not very right. Now, blueprint, what should it contain? Blueprint should contain the specification in terms of, number 1, the weightage to different units of content. Number 2, the weightage to different levels of objectives. And number 3, the weightage to different types of question. I will repeat, because this is not there in this presentation. But what I have said is, in order to ensure content validity of achievement test, as a teacher, we should first prepare a blueprint. And blueprint is a 3-dimensional table. The 3 dimensions of the table are: dimension 1 is weightage to different units of the content. Dimension number 2 is weightage to different levels of content. And dimension number 3 is weightage to different types of question. Now, number 1, see, the achievement test is based on several units. So before you prepare question paper, you need to ensure how much weightage is to be given to unit number 1, unit 2, unit 3, unit 4, and so on. So this is dimension 1, and then you should have a rational. You should have a rational to submit, a rational to decide the weightage to different types of questions. And I have not said that you should give equal weightage. You should give appropriate weightage. For instance, if there are 5 units, I don't mean to say that you give 20% weightage to each unit. No, I'm sorry. As a teacher, you are the best judge. You have to decide appropriate weightage. You have to decide how much weightage will you give to unit 1, how much to unit 2, 3, and 4. Even in order to give this weightage also, there are 3 important guidelines. But I am saying guidelines. These are not rules. Guideline number 1. the length of content. In that unit, if it is too lengthy, then perhaps you might give more weightage. If the content is very less, to that unit you can give less weightage. Number two, the importance of this unit. Now see, everything that is there in syllabus is important, but then still as a teacher, you know that certain topics are much important because they are linked with many other units, and they are also linked with other units which they are going to learn in next semester. So as a teacher, depending upon the importance of the unit, you can once again decide the weighting. And third is the difficulty level of the content. But see, this is difficulty as perceived by you as a teacher. Sometimes we know that as a teacher, when we teach, even certain part of content is difficult for us. See, I am also teaching now for last 35 years. Still, I know there are certain part of content where, where I fumble. It's difficult for me. So the perceived difficulty level of the content. So now what I am saying is, depending upon these three guidelines, guideline number one, the length of content. Number two, first is length. Number two is the importance of content. And number three is the difficulty level of content. So considering these three guidelines, you should give appropriate weightage to unit 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It should not be equal weightage of 20 to all 5 units. Could I clarify this? So in order to ensure content validity of a test, number one, you will have to give appropriate weightage to different units of content. Number two, you will have to give appropriate weightage to different levels of objective. In the beginning, while introducing me, Dr. Amar made a mention of Bloom's taxonomy. And I'm sure you must have heard about Bloom's taxonomy. There's a Bloom's taxonomy which has been now recently revised by one of his scholars. And according to Bloom's taxonomy, cognition means remembering, it comes at the lowest level. Remembering, then understanding, then applying, then analyzing, creating, and then evaluating. Creating, evaluating, and then creating. Okay, earlier it was, after application, it was analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. There is some change which one of his scholars has done. So what I am saying is, see, from our experience all these years, we must have found that there are some students who are able to remember everything. Even, they will be able to see that on page number 34 on second paragraph, in second paragraph, this much is written. So they are extremely good at remembering. And if you ask only this remembering level questions, they will be able to reproduce everything in the examination and will be able to get more than 95-98% of marks. So if the questions are like this in your question paper, there is every possibility that only those who are able to remember will be able to score more. Okay? But then there are some students who perhaps may not be able to remember to this level, but they are very good at understanding, very good at applying. You give them application level question, they will score. So in order to take care of everything and in order to make them think at a higher level, because these days we talk of inculcation of thinking skills and more so HOTS, HOTS, higher order of thinking skills. So in order to inculcate this higher order thinking skills, your question paper should have questions like this. There are some questions which are based at knowledge level, some questions which are based at understanding level, application level, and so on. So as a teacher, you have to appropriately give weightage to different levels of question. So this is the second dimension of blueprint. The first dimension was appropriate weightage to different types of content or different units of content. Second is appropriate weightage to different levels of objectives. And third is appropriate weightage to different types of questions. Our question paper should largely contain all different types of questions, both objective and subjective. In objective, there are selection type of question and supply type of question. Selection means answer is given there and student has to only select. For instance, MCQ. MCQ comes under selection type of objective question. Okay, there under the question 4 or 5 options are given and student only has to select. Even true and false also is a selective type question, because their statement is there and it can be either true or false. So you have to only select. Matching type of question, match A with B. This is also selection. Answer is there either in column A or B or C and you have to match. So this come under selection type of objective question. Then you fill in the blank. Fill in the blank is also objective type question, but it is not selection. It is supply type of question, because fill in the blank is technically known as incomplete statement. And as a respondent, as a student, your complete statement by giving, you have to complete the statement by giving some information. So that incomplete statement or fill in the blank comes under objective type question, but it comes under supply type. As a student, as a respondent, I have to supply. Whereas in multiple choice, true and false, and matching type of items, answer is there, I have to only select. And similarly, when we have normally have one word kind of answer. For small children, that is better. What is, say, in which direction sun rises? Very simple question. Student have to write only one answer. Okay, one word. So these are all objective type question, and then we have short question, short answer question, long answer questions. They normally come under subjective type of question. So what I am trying to say is every question paper should have all types of questions, and then as a teacher you have to decide. As a teacher, you have to decide appropriate weightage to different types of questions. It should not be only MCQ, should not be only this. It should be MCQ, it should have this, and it should have all different types of questions. So I was talking about content validity. In content validity, what I have said so far is, before we prepare question paper, we have to prepare a blueprint. And blueprint is a table of specification of 3 dimensions. Dimension 1 is appropriate weightage to different units of the content. Dimension 2 is appropriate weightage to different levels of objective. And dimension number 3 is appropriate weightage to different types of questions. We decide everything, and then means this is your planning. All engineers, before you make building, you plan. So here also as a teacher, before I make question paper, I have to plan. And if there is a consistency between my blueprint and my plan, I will say that my test has content validity. Could I make it clear? Amar, it is already 4:30 now. What do I do next?
Sir, you can continue, sir, for another 10-15 minutes, no problem, because I want to interact with them for tomorrow is the last.
Oh, tomorrow is the last. Then very quickly I will go through all these slides. But because, all this validity and everything is most important, I don't know what to do. Maybe if you want...
Please continue, sir. No problem, sir.
But, I have another meeting at 4:45. So I can continue for next 10 minutes.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Then, I will very briefly, I will skip this. But no, what you should remember is predictive validity. All aptitude tests should have predictive validity, because the aptitude test is, say, normally after public examination 10th or 12th, we should be conducting aptitude test. Aptitude is in order to find out future success of candidate. In our country, unfortunately, what happens is, I have read one report where it is said that many people do not enjoy the job which they are doing at present. I repeat the statement. Many people do not enjoy their present job. Maybe the reason is, say, I wanted to become an engineer, but I have become a teacher. So I am not, enjoying my life as an engineer because I could not become, and I am not enjoying my life as a teacher because I wanted to become an engineer. Instead, if, at the very early stage, if my aptitude was measured, and if I was nurtured in that area, imagine, our country can do wonders, because human resource is not a problem. We have so many people, but the problem is we are not able to identify their skills at the early stage. Otherwise, what should happen? If we identify their skills at the early stage, if we nurture, believe me, we will be able to produce so many Abdul Kalam, so many Lata Mangeshkar, so many Virat Kohli, and so on. So, that we should measure aptitude. There is aptitude scale, and then this aptitude scale should have predictive validity. Means that scale should be able to predict if, Miss Asi Patel should become a good engineer, not a teacher. Dr. Amar should become a good planner, not a teacher. Mr. So and so can become a good researcher. So then let him or her become researcher only. But in our country, what we want is, we want Amar to teach also, to study also, to teach also, to administer also, to research also, and everything to be done only by one person. So that in fact should be avoided. I'll straight away now come to, my business. My business was about the tools of research. I don't know, these are all so many things. Then, next is validity. Normally, there are 3 types of validity. Test is to be administered once, then administered at second time, that is test and retest. There should be enough gap between these two. Get the score of all the students in test 1 and 2, and then see to what extent the results are consistent. Similarly, equivalent form, make 2 equal tests, administer on all the students. So you have 2 scores for each student and try to see consistency. Similarly, split half, only 1 group of students, 1 administrator, administer it, you get the students' marks, and then split the marks into 2 equal half. So now you have 2 sets of score for each student, and then calculate coefficient of correlationship. I think you all know the concept of coefficient of correlationship. So you calculate coefficient of correlationship. If that value is more, we will say that reliability is more. If value is less, we will say reliability is less. Objectivity also I have said. Now major is this, tools of research and techniques of research. Of course, there is very little difference between tools and techniques. Tools are the material, device, instrument that we use to collect data. Please remember, tools are the material, the device, the equipment that we use to collect data. And techniques are the way or the procedure we adapt to collect data. There's a very thin line difference. I'll talk later. Now, see, these are major tools about which I should have talked today, but then I'm sorry. See, one is there are certain inquiry forms, checklist, rating scale, questionnaire, attitude scale. Then we have observation, certain things as a Amar, I will send you this presentation. I will modify, I will send you. So one is, so these 4 are in the form of inquiry, checklist. You have a list of all probable things, go there and check whether it was present or absent, whether it occurred or did not occur. That is known as checklist. But then checklist, it will give you information only about presence or absence, occurrence or non-occurrence. But it will not give you information about quality. For instance, today R.C. Patel, he asked question, you will say yes. He introduced, you will say yes. He used PPT, you will say yes. But how was the quality of PPT? How was the quality of questioning? How was his explanation? All this you will not be able to get that with the help of checklist. So we have a rating scale. Once again, that same list of all probable events, and we ask respondents to give rating from 1, 2, 3, 4. It could be 3-point rating, it could be 5-point, it could be 10-point rating. So that is rating scale. Questionnaire, it's something I think very popularly, very commonly used research tool. All the questions which you want to ask, type it on a paper and give it to them. That is known as questionnaire. Okay, and then they will respond. And these days you all are fortunate enough because you have Google Baba to help you. So you make a Google form, send it to as many people as you can, and you will get data in that Excel sheet. In our days, we did not have this facility, but then still you are lucky. So that same questionnaire, you can convert it into Google form. But say you should understand the difference between achievement test and questionnaire. Because if you have listened to me carefully, I said that the questions, you should print it on a form and then give it to the respondent. In achievement test also we have question. Then what is the difference between achievement test and questionnaire? Please take 1 minute and write in chat box. What is the difference between achievement test and questionnaire? So I am happy. Many people have written goody things about me. Very good things you have written.
They are busy with by filling the feedback forms.
Oh, yo. So fine. But this should not know. Amar, this should be avoided. They are busy in that, so they will not answer my question. Okay, fine. So
Question
I
may
was
be
doing-
open end or closed. Someone is
Yeah.
Jagadeshwari.
No, fine. See, what happens is, yes, achievement is on the basis of certain syllabus somebody has written. In questionnaire also, we do not have syllabus, we have broad area. But see, in achievement test, every question has only one correct answer. Please remember, in achievement test, every question has only one correct answer. If they have written that answer, it is correct. Anything else is incorrect. In questionnaire, whatever they write is correct. Because we are interested in knowing their opinion. We are interested in knowing what do they think. Fine? Very good. Somebody has written questionnaires can be used to measure aptitude. So the major difference between achievement test and in both of them, there are questions only. But the difference is in achievement test, every question has only one correct answer. And in questionnaire, every answer is correct. Because as a researcher, I want to know what do they think. Say, for instance, here, if Amar has asked to give feedback about R.C. Patel, fine. So whatever you are writing is correct. Somebody may write that nice session, somebody write good, somebody may write that R.C. Patel was to talk on research tool, but he has talked on all certain other things. But he did not talk about research. So all that can happen. So here, whatever you write is the correct. Attitude scale, I can once again take 2 hour session on attitude scale. Similarly, observation,
Sir,
you go and personally, sorry. Hello, somebody was saying something. I think I have poor connectivity. Hello.
Oh, we can hear you, sir.
Okay, fine. But then I think now I will have to stop and I will have to abruptly stop. I am sorry, I do not have much time now with me. But then these are all different tools. And as I was saying earlier, each tool requires at least 10-15 minutes time to discuss observation, interview, sociometry. Then there are so many psychological tests, achievement, aptitude, intelligence, interest, personal equality. Then there are projective techniques, mapping, field not, field ID, content analysis. And these days, this is very recently I have come to know about even virtual reality can be used as a tool to collect data in research. Then even artificial intelligence and neuroscience method. And all those who are from science and technology, for them, all laboratory equipments also are the tools. Because these are the tools which we use to collect information. Fine. And then I have here in detail, I have talked about all different tools and but I am sorry, I'll have to abruptly stop here. I'm really very sorry. I spent more time on what was not planned. And I have made so many slides also. This is, something very interesting, which as a teacher, I will want, or I will, request all of you to do this. Are you able to see this slide? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, fine.
Sir,
So,
we are going to organize one FDP on research methodology and publication. I'll invite you again, sir. The same topic I need, sir.
Okay, fine then. I can, but because you all are teacher, my advice to all of you will be ask only one question to all your students in classroom and then make this kind of sociograph. Ask one question. Given a choice with whom you will want to make friendship. Okay, only one question. Given a choice with whom you will want to make friendship. Choice number one, choice number two. Just ask that, and then okay, then make this kind of sociogram. Normally, these are the abbreviations which you use. If it is a boy, we write in a box, square box, girl in a circle. First choice, thick arrow. Second choice, thin arrow. You may go for 3 and 4, but then the graph will become complicated. So ask them only 2 choice. Okay, if you are given choice, who will want to make you friend, number 1 and number 2. And then, draw this kind of graph. Now say here, this person, there are many people who will want to make friendship with him or her. So that is a star. If I come to know about star, I can definitely use them for many purposes. Then here, this is a clique. Clique, or we also call them as a gang. Gang has a negative connotation, but then person 1 would want to make friendship with 2, 2 with 3, 3 with 1. So 1, 2 and 3, they have a very close group. They will not allow good things to happen in a classroom. So this gang or cliques are to be broken down. Then, somebody like this rejected. You want to make friendship with somebody else, but then there is nobody in your class who will choose you to be a friend. And then isolate. You don't want to make friendship with anybody. Neither anybody else wants to make friendship with you. So as a teacher, you should also be able to identify the rejected ones and isolated ones, and then try to involve them in different groups so as to help them for their all-round development. So this is also one very good tool. That way, there are means all the tools are very important tools and very good tools. But then maybe this is about projective techniques. Many things we think at our subconscious level. So subconscious level, our thinking can be projected this way, and it can be analyzed, and we can understand our students. Then there is container laboratory equipment, you all know. Now this is about virtual reality. With the help of this also, lot of data can be collected from our students, virtual and AI. I'm sorry, but I will have to now discontinue here. Amar, thank you very much for
Sir,
giving me
thank you
this.
so much, sir. See you again, sir, because you are in hurry.
And
Only
all
2 minutes.
participants,
Thank you.
participants, I'm sorry.
Okay, sir.
Okay, please continue, Amar.
Okay, sir. I will share the PPT with all others, sir. Otherwise, we will invite you again to deliver, sir.
Yeah. So if possible, now all of you, please show your face. I will want to know who all were there in my session because I have not seen
Sir, thank you so
anybody's
much.
face.
Please, participants, please open your video, on your video.
I can see now 2 more. Yes, good, good, very good.
Donai, Dr. Donai from Synod College.
As a seasoned teachers, seeing blank screen, really somehow it irritates because what you see is only a blank screen and you see yourself, nothing more than that. Okay, thank you all very much and best luck for your future.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So, Amar, now can I leave?
Yes, sir. Please, sir. Please, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you all once again and good luck. Good luck for your future. Thank you. God bless you.
Right. I think all the participants, they filled feedback form. May I stop now? I'm going to stop and I want to share a few things with all of you. I'm going to stop now feedback form. Almost 120 participants filled. So may I stop? Okay, thank you. Just 1 minute. I'm going to stop the video recording. I want to speak something offline. Not live, sorry, online, not live.